Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Happy Valentine's Day to all you people that have people that actually love you. I'm not going to fall in that boat, so I thought today, to celebrate my loneliness, I do a video on downloaded games on my Switch, because nothing says depression more than video games. Anyway, I've already gone over all the console, actual cartridge games I have for the system, so I thought I'd also go over the many games I actually have downloaded for the system. I'm also going to include Hulu, because that's pretty important. I mean, it's the first streaming app on the system, so it's important that they get it right. And I'll be going about talking about the demos too, because demos are important. I mean, if they're not good, nobody wants to play the game. So let's just get into gear and get this video started. For the first part, I'm going to start out with Fast RMX, which was one of the first games I got. It's basically kind of like F-Zero from what I've heard, but since I've never played F-Zero, I can't really say much about that. But it's a racing game, it's really fast, it's really fun, while the controls can be really annoying, and the CPUs really feel like they're rubber banding a lot of the time. If you can get past those faults, once you get to the higher speeds, the game is crazy fun, and it's actually a lot of fun to play with other people, though. If you're going for an online experience, pass in this one, because the one time I tried to do a race with online, I found one other person, and it was not a very good connection. So overall, since the lack of really good online, I'm going to have to say 7.5, maybe 7. Yeah, 7. Next up is Rayman Legends Definitive Edition demo. If you don't know, Rayman is, it's a platformer series that's very cutesy, but also depressing sometimes. And I've never really gotten much into the series, but from what I played of this demo, it's actually really fun. The game is beautiful, has great sound design, graphic design, gameplay, and overall I think it's just a really cool game. And while I don't see myself getting the game in the near future, maybe once it gets a price cut or something, maybe then. But overall, I have to give this an 8.5. It's a really good demo. Mighty Gunvolt Burst, if you remember Mighty number 9, The Giant Disappointment, that came out a few years ago. This is a spin-off series between the Azuri Striker Gunvolt series and this, and that's a really weird mashup, but overall it takes some of the gameplay from both different games and mixes them together to make a game that's actually surprisingly enjoyable. I do have to say, though, the game can be beaten in like 2 hours. It's very short, but with like 9 characters to play as with the DLC, there's a lot of game to play here with extra difficulties and a ton of customization in terms of guns and gameplay. So overall, I'd have to give this game an 8, simply because it also really feels like sometimes the platform is just not right. Project Octopath Traveler demo. Now, this is a game that's getting a lot of hype because it's the first true new Square Enix game for the system, and if the demo is a correct portrayal of what this game is going to be like, this game is going to be fantastic. It's an RPG split up into several different stories with different characters, with really cool gameplay, pixelated but really nice looking graphics. Overall, it's getting a lot of hype, and for good reason. This demo perfectly portrays exactly what we wanted from the game, and to top it off, they've been listening to the people and fixing the issues that we've had. And they made like a 6-minute video literally talking about how they're going to be fixing the issues with the game, and it makes me so happy because this game is going to be amazing. And as a demo overall, I have to give this game a straight 10, simply because of how well it's portraying the game. Dragon Quest Builders demo. That's a game that came out like last year for the PS4, and while the game is actually out now for the Switch, this demo is good. Now, it doesn't let you save like some of the other demos on here, which I dislike, especially with a game with this much of a tutorial. It took me like 15 minutes to really get out into the game, and even then there were still tons of tutorials telling you exactly what to do, and I feel like this is where this game is at its worst, is the demo. Not that the gameplay is bad, it's kind of like Minecraft with RPG elements, which is absolutely awesome, I love it. But it doesn't really portray itself very well within this demo, and the key thing to get right on demos is to show people that the game is good and exactly what it is, and that if people don't really understand what the game is and how it plays, then you failed as a demo in general. So it doesn't allow you to save, and there's so much tutorials, and once you get into the actual game, it's fun, but there's so much you have to get through first. I'd probably have to give this a 6.5. Though I do want to get the game. It's apparently amazing. Let's see here, Shovel Knight Treasure Trove. You've heard stuff about Shovel Knight most likely. It's a game, it's not even done yet. This game has all 4 stories inside of it. There's Shovel Knight, the original one, which is very fun. There's Plague Knight, which is basically just Shovel Knight, the same stages, mostly the same stuff, but with a different gameplay style. I don't really like it. It feels a bit too floaty and weird for me. The third one, Plague Knight, that came out, that's the third story, in my opinion, the best because of how fun and dynamic the gameplay is. And there's a 4th one coming out about King Knight, and it's going to be split up, from what I've heard, into smaller levels, kind of like Mario. There's going to be like 30 of them, which is really, really cool. And I'm really looking forward to that. But overall, the amount of sheer content with like customization and New Game Plus and Amiibo and co-op and like cheat codes, this game is fantastic. I'm going to have to give it a 9.5. Rocket League. You've heard about Rocket League again. It's basically soccer with cars. The Switch version does have kind of a low resolution, but it maintains a 60 frame rate with really good controls, and overall feels like a full-fledged version of this game. I'd have to give it an 8.5, simply because the game, in my opinion, isn't flawless anyway. Hulu is literally just Hulu. It runs perfectly fine. It looks great, especially on the TV. Runs really fast, so there's no complaints here. It's just Hulu. I'd have to give it a 10. There's really nothing wrong with this app, which is important because this is the first streaming app on the system. Blaster Master Zero is kind of a remake of Blaster Master, which was an NES game, kind of forgotten. It's great, if not a bit easy. It's a platform that's split into 2 parts, the tank sections that are 2D, and then a top-down sections, which are, like, just by yourself with, like, big guns and, like, you know, that kind of stuff. It's actually really fun. I enjoy it a lot, although it is way too easy, and I can't really say I've gotten that far into it because I did delete my save file and didn't play it for like 3 months, so that's a thing, but it is really good. Romancing Saga 2 is the most unforgiving game I have ever played in my life. The Romancing Saga series is by Square Enix. It's a game series that hasn't really come outside Japan that often, and for good reason. The game is ridiculously hard. It encourages killing off your characters to get new ones. There are different setups you can have. There's tons of customization. Sort of. You can't really customize a lot of weapons, stuff like that, but you can fully customize your party. When you're wiped out, you're done. That's it. And the game makes it so you wipe out. Like, when you wipe out, you have to get an entire new cast of characters to continue on the story. And there are certain parts where, if you're not ready to continue, you have to restart the game, which sounds like a bad thing, but really also makes you think out your movements, which are also going to be annoying, because I had to restart on a New Game Plus, because I got stuck somewhere and couldn't continue. But overall, since this game is so unrelenting but does have fun gameplay, I'm going to have to give it a 6.5, because, like, it is too hard. Like, it's ridiculous. It's hard to describe, but it's insane. So for the last one that I have for you today, I Am Setsuna, which I want to give a full review on. I gave a full review on Lost Sphere. I Am Setsuna is the game before that, you know, the groundwork for it. In a lot of ways, it did better. In a lot of ways, it was, Lost Sphere was better. There's a lot of things I want to say about this. I'm going to do a review of it eventually. Great story, great gameplay, great graphics, great setting, great characters. Overall, I'm going to have to give this game a 9. I did rank it higher than Lost Sphere for a few reasons, but I'll get into those some other time. Anyway, those were all the games digitally that I own for the Switch. I have a lot of them. I'm still trying to get Celeste and Enter the Gungeon, which are 2 huge games that are very popular. I haven't gotten them yet because I don't have a lot of money, and I'm saving up for the new Kirby game, which I'll give a review on too. That game looks amazing. Anyway, if you liked the video, thank you so much for watching to the end. Leave a like, subscribe, comment, do whatever you want, really. But thanks for watching. Happy Valentine's Day again. I know I made that joke earlier, but if you guys are having any special plans, something like that, I do hope from the bottom of my heart that they work out and that you guys can have a good day just like I did. Anyway, this has been me, and I will see you guys next time.